It was the largest margin of victory in Big 12 history as Texas Tech earned a win over TCU here at home, 88-42. Thanks so much for being with us on Double T Insider. Robert Giovanetti and I have so much to get to with that huge win for Texas Tech men's basketball. Where should we start? Maybe the 17 points apiece for both Jemias Ramsey and Davide?
I think, yeah, that's a great place to start. I think you're seeing Jemias really come into his own now in Big 12 play. But you also love the fact you could see it in the first half. Davide was feeling it, and he wanted the basketball, and they were getting him the ball, and they were really operating on all cylinders, especially that first half.
Davide was feeling it, but I think that really from that first possession, you could tell, okay, Texas Tech is really kind of feeling themselves here tonight.
A lot of talk before the game about how disappointed they were the way they played in Fort Worth. I think they wanted to rectify that situation a little bit, but also you're starting to see this team really start to come together a little bit. So you have to win these kind of games at home, and they didn't take any chances, right? They came out almost like their hair was on fire to start the game.
A win in that fashion really shows a lot of parity, too, that exists in the Big 12 Conference. Because after all, like you mentioned, this is a TCU team, the same group of people that beat Texas Tech just a couple of weeks ago in Fort Worth. And so I think the teams that are going to advance late in the postseason are the teams that are really going to start playing their best basketball in February. Texas Tech falls into that category, in my opinion.
And I think to make your point even more, the way this coaching staff prepared this team for that game, the way that Bain hurt Tech in the first game in Fort Worth, and how they were able to neutralize him in the game on Monday night, it just shows you the adjustments this coaching staff is capable of making and does, and you see that a lot in March with this group.
They played with a lot of confidence, and every single player that got into the game scored, except for one. But Avery Benson finished the game with 4 assists. TCU finished the game with 4 assists. And so I think just knowing your role, going in there and executing, it says a lot about this team.
And I love the way Avery plays. I know everybody does. He's become a big favorite. But another favorite is Big Russ. Avery with the dish to him to get the dunk late in the game. The crowd really got into it. It was that for Avery not to get any points. I think he'd rather take the 4 assists.
Yeah, absolutely. And to hear the way that the Texas Tech student section really cheered for Big Russ when he came in was really cool too. We'll get to more of that TCU game here in just a bit on Double T Insider. But first, 5-0 for opening weekend for Texas Tech softball. Coach Gregory and her team is really excited about what can come this year for that group, and they really proved and kind of validated themselves in that first weekend.
Where this program has really come in a couple years under Adrian Gregory, the fact that you can hear them kind of nitpicking a 5-0 weekend really says a lot. Erin Edmondson, she was so great last year. She probably should have been Big 12 Player of the Week last week and didn't get the award, but really not sure anyone in the country had a better performance than she did with the weekend with 3 wins.
Erin is certainly special. Texas Tech would outscore their opponents 23-7. A pair of shutouts. Congratulations to Texas Tech softball, and a big weekend too for Texas Tech track and field as they go on the road. But Chloe Wall would really steal the show there, and she would vault into 8th place in the country with an amazing mark of 14.2 3/4. But Texas Tech track and field would come back home this weekend, and they will finish out the NCAA indoor season in the next few weeks right here at home. Don't go anywhere. We're talking more Texas Tech basketball next on Double T Insider. Welcome back into Double T Insider. There is no question that Coach Beard wants to build the identity of this team around their defense. Am I right?
Yeah, he says it all the time. Defense travels, and they feel like they can play with anybody in the country because of the way they play defense.
Maybe some of the most dominating defensive play that we've seen from this Texas Tech group, though, on Monday in that victory over TCU. Let's just go through the list if we can. 13 steals, 7 blocks. We would go and have 24 defensive rebounds and then score 36 points off of 20 TCU turnovers. That is execution.
And on top of that, a couple of TCU turnovers were shot clock violations. They just couldn't get a good look at the basket. They just really disrupted TCU offensively all night long.
Any team in the country is going to have a hard time scoring on Texas Tech if those are the type of numbers that they're putting up on defense. But the coaching staff would say that momentum that came from that victory on the road over Texas and Austin really was a catalyst for this group and the way that they played on Monday night over TCU.
Guys are excited about the second half of the Big 12. There's about 4 or 5 seasons within the season in college basketball. And certainly the second half of conference play is one of the most important parts as you gear towards March.
Just 5 weekends remain in college basketball's regular season, and things are about to heat up. Ramsey on a nice back cut, Holyfield finds it. See it there in that weight room, because Clark is a man under the bar. Easy one for Shannon. On baseline, a foul call, really nice.
A lot of things in our program that we believe in. Sometimes when you're down, you just keep chipping away. It's a long game.
Edwards, it's a tough one to go in the paint. Trying to get it going. Jamias Ramsey. Moretti, transition triple. Got it. Edwards on Sims. Up quickly. Basket. Ramsey wants hand for 3. Good! Jamias Ramsey. Edwards and Hepa. He finishes.
Second half, we started getting into some 2-3 minute segments where we were playing great on both ends.
Coleman at Shannon. Blocked by Holyfield. We're going all the way to the rim. Blocked by Holyfield, and they get it directly to Moretti. Texas Tech erases a 16-point deficit in Austin to win it 62-56.
Great boys. Let's go. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Our first big Monday game. Tomorrow we have to have a great day of preparation.
Baseline pass of beauty. And where's the title? By Ramsey. He can do that too. Ramsey off it. Let's go. Here's Holyfield stepping in. Here's Moretti. Nice shot fake. Clears some room. Finger again from the corner. Ramsey continues to stay on the 3 left corner. It's just incredible. Left wing 3, Edwards. Get out of here! Fumbled at the Holy. With a dunk. He went to Holyfield with a 2-handers for the Raiders. Ramsey, the other side of the rim to finish. Clark just pulls his way.
For us, it's about Texas Tech basketball, playing for the guy next to you, being the tougher team, competing on each possession, playing defense, sharing the ball on offense. Now, it doesn't mean that every game we're the better team, but you got to be the better team for 40 minutes. So certainly our objective has always been and always will be, we're going to try to win the game each time the ball goes up.
And now Texas Tech will take that momentum as they go back out on the road and face off against Oklahoma State, a team that they got a really big win earlier in conference play over. What do you need to see from this team this weekend on the road?
I think just carry that intensity on the road. Oklahoma State, that can be a tough place to play. They're really struggling this year, and so you don't want to just look at that and come in. But when have we ever seen a Chris Beard team come into a game not completely prepared, not intense? And I think you'll see that. But you can't take the foot off the gas at all against a team like that.
Texas Tech basketball continuing Big 12 play on the road. Meanwhile, baseball opening weekend right here in Lubbock. Brian Klein joins us next on Double T Insider.
He's a West Texas native who donned the scarlet and black on the football field in the late 1950s. The 2-year letter winner earned a bachelor's degree in education before graduating from medical school. As an orthopedic surgeon, he served the Amarillo community for nearly 3 decades, never forgetting his ties to Texas Tech. He's been a member of the Board of Regents and the Chancellor's Council. But Dr. Bob Stafford's proudest achievement, his family. These are the real people of Texas Tech.
Welcome back into Double T Insider. I'm so excited to be joined here on set by Brian Klein with Texas Tech Baseball. Brian, the wait is finally over. Are you so relieved?
Yes, man. I'm just so ready to start playing this Friday. I mean, it's weird with the snow on the ground today, but, you know, we're all ready and we know it's going to be a nice weekend, so we're excited.
I mean, it is February after all. I mean,
yeah.
You just mentioned that this group is so excited, but what's kind of the vibe that exists around the clubhouse and kind of just in the locker room with this group as you approach these last final days before you start your senior season here?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think just for most of us, and especially the new guys, you know, we've, you know, just thinking about Omaha last year and how we really didn't finish the job, and we're looking forward to just trying to do that again, really. And I think all of us this year at the beginning of the fall just knew like how much work it's going to take. So now it's like we're ready to take that work and just keep applying that throughout the season. We're just ready to, I guess, just get it going.
When you make those appearances, though, in Omaha, as excitement kind of continues to build around this program and around what Coach Tadlock is doing, it also kind of, you know, raises the level of expectation for this group too. So as a leader, how do you kind of help manage some of those younger players to know that, okay, this is about focusing on kind of who we are and what we do, and we sort of, you know, control the narrative of this team?
Right, yeah, and it's like we talk about as a team just taking it day by day, you know? I mean, we know that a lot of teams are going to come here and want to beat us, and it's the same, like we want to win these games too, but, you know, like you said, there are, I guess, higher expectations for us just because of the last couple of years, but we have to earn the right to win each day, like Coach Tadlock says all the time. It's like we got to win each day, and we got to be thankful for the adversity, for the wins, for everything. So I guess just winning each day is really something that we've talked about, and being able to not get too big of a head about anything, and just stay level-headed and keep playing the game the right way.
And you're the only Red Raider that started in all 66 games last year, and Coach Tadlock, I mean, you've just been really foundational to what he's been building over the last few years. But I like to kind of talk to student athletes as they approach their senior season. How has that perspective kind of maybe changed the way that you have prepared in this offseason as you come into really this last opportunity for you?
I know it, yeah, senior season, but it just there's so much change going through the years as a freshman. I've told a lot of people that a lot of the older guys took me in, like and the coaches did as well, but there's a lot of learning that first year, like because from high school to college season you don't know what it's really like. So I had a lot of guys just kind of help me out, and just kind of throughout the years of like, okay, me getting a little more comfortable and learning just kind of everything about this program, about college baseball, has kind of prepared me for this year where now I'm the older guy, and now guys have seen, like our new guys have seen me play on TV before, they've seen all of us, and I want to be that guy, like, you know, they've had questions or like how we do this, what do we do here? Is like, I want to be that guy, and I've tried to be that guy that can just really be a leader for these guys on and off the field. And I think just for the coaches and the past players have helped me to get ready for that role. Brian,
you are that guy. You're a great leader for this team. We're excited for you guys as you get started this weekend. Scheduling and ticket information is available at texastech.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Double T Insider. Welcome back into Double T Insider. The JT and Margaret Talkington Leadership Academy does a lot of really great things for our student athletes, but maybe one of the most recognizable ones is the Suited for Success, which is just an amazing program for our student athletes.
It's fun to watch. Some of these student athletes, the first suit they've ever owned, both male and females, get to go through it from shoes all the way up to the ties and whatever else they want to wear, and then they go through a whole series of etiquette training and job interview training. It's really fun to watch them progress throughout the semester.
And it's important too, and I love the way that this group is able to kind of initiate, some of these things that student athletes are probably not thinking about and talking about, and putting them in a position to be able to maybe be uncomfortable but learn a lot in the process too.
Yeah, I think it shows where Texas Tech is looking at it holistically. Hey, we're trying to prepare them for life after athletics. Important
stuff there with the JT and Margaret Talkington Leadership Academy. Take a look at Suited for Success.
My name is Andrea Adams. We are here looking for one suit, a pair of shoes, and possibly makeup with them.
Just keeps you with like a healthy glow. I love a healthy glow. Eyeliner?
Yes, that looks way better. Yeah. It's real tight, right?
Basically what we're here doing is we're just picking out some suits. You're helping us out, making sure we get fitted and get the right colors and everything we need.
This right here, looks good. I like that idea. Solid.
Love Suited for Success and what it does for our student athletes. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Double T Insider.
I just know that she's like smiling down looking at me, so I just use that as my motivation. And like she's always with me, I can feel her. I won't ever give up, and I'll continue to fight no matter how hard it gets. It started outside in front of my house. My cousins used to come over all the time. They're all boys. We've had several basketball goals that we would just bring up to the top of the driveway and play. And I snuck out there and I started playing basketball, and I fell in love with it then, and I haven't looked back since. So it was like a battle for years. I was young. I mean, I knew what she was going through, but I just like really didn't know to what extent it really was. She was in the hospice, so I knew like sometime between when I left the hospice that night and that morning that she probably wouldn't be here the next day. Honestly, at first, I wanted to stop playing basketball. Like, I don't think I can do this anymore. So I kind of like had, bad feelings for it, but I just looked at it as from a different point of view. Like, all right, now I'm doing this for her. If she was here, she wouldn't want me to stop playing basketball. So I kind of trying to change my mindset about it. I just want to do every little thing that I could to like make sure I stayed, so I feel that she was with me. And that's why when I got to college, I changed my number to 14 because that's how old I was the last time she got to see me play. So that's why I wear 14. My name is Jada Walton, and today I play for my mom.
Welcome back into Double T Insider. Moving stories there for Lady Raider basketball. To see all of those stories from the Play for K-Pink game, visit our website at texastech.com. The Lady Raiders are hosting Kansas tonight, Wednesday at 7 o'clock, followed by a road game to West Virginia this weekend, Saturday at 4 p.m. Meanwhile, Red Raider basketball on the road at Oklahoma State Saturday at noon.
We heard from Brian Klein earlier. Texas Tech baseball opening day Friday afternoon, taking on Houston Baptist. That'll be a 1 o'clock first pitch, then a doubleheader on Saturday. Houston Baptist first at noon, followed by Northern Colorado, and then the Red Raiders will end the weekend hosting Northern Colorado on Sunday afternoon at Rip Griffin Park. And Texas Tech track and field back at home this weekend. The Texas Tech Shootout. That'll be on Friday and Saturday at the Sports Performance Center.
And finally, Texas Tech women's tennis with a doubleheader of action on Friday, hosting South Carolina, followed by Abilene Christian, and finally NC State on Saturday at 1 o'clock. That's all of our time for now. Thanks so much for being with us today on Double T Insider. For Robert Giovanetti, I'm Taylor Peters. We'll see you next week. And if you missed any part of today's show, head on over to texastech.com or download the Texas Tech TV app on Apple TV and Roku.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.